To the highest hierarchical authority of the church as a bishop. He devoted himself to the utmost dedication to the power of the Holy Spirit. That is why the church now really accept and admit Parumala Thirumeni as the first declared saint. If Parumala Thirumeni can reach that zenith, why couldn't we? Definitely, we are trying, we can be. This is why I chose the term Parumala Thirumeni, the man of God. And today, my students, my kids of this church, you are going to present 6 papers, 5 papers in connection to the topic Parumala Thirumeni, the man of God. So I would like to invite Jenny to moderate these sessions with an introductory speech from her. God bless you all. Thank you.
Friends and family, welcome to our seminar. When Dutchess first asked me to conduct this seminar about Parumala Thirumeni, I was really happy because Parumala Thirumeni really has a special place in my heart. My mother is from Malnar, and being from Malnar, Parumala Thirumeni and the church there was very special to her. So growing up, we always heard about Parumala Thirumeni. So when growing up in the U.S., I would go to India and visit the Parumala Thirumeni church, Thirumeni's church. And then I would see thousands and thousands of people, and I want to share the story with you, my personal connection with him. So every year we would go, and my earliest recollection was at the age of 7. So every year we would go, and I see thousands of people going to the church and praying, and then there was his bed that is encased in glass. How many of you youngsters have been to the church? Raise your hand. Okay, so not everybody. So there's a case with his bed that is enclosed in a glass case, okay? And at the church you'll see so many people touching it and praying. So at the age of 7, my mother said, why don't you go up there, say your prayers, touch it. I said, Mom, you really want me to touch that? There's so many people, I feel really funny. So I did. But then after that, I washed my hands. Okay, this was at the age of 7, because I found it a little strange that everybody was touching it. Each year, I would do the same thing. I touch it, but then I touch it just briefly. Okay. I would touch it very briefly, and then I go and wash my hands. Okay. So, something happened when I was 10 years old during our visit to India. I went and visited the church, and we actually visited late in our trip, the day before we were leaving to come back to the U.S. And that year, I did the same thing. I went and prayed, but I just touched it very briefly, and then I went and washed my hands. But this time, there was a very special, not a special feeling, but a very weird feeling. My fingers started to burn. All my fingers, all my 10 fingers started to burn. So I was really worried. So I went back into the church, and I put both of my hands on that glass, and I really prayed. And I prayed for forgiveness. Because at that age, being 10, you don't really know much. But it was really something, because as soon as I touched my hands on the glass, the pain went away. So it was something that I really truly believed from that point on, that Parumala Thirumeni has special powers, and so my belief in him is very strong. So therefore, as a mother, I will continue to bring that tradition to my children as well. So, so that is my personal story with Parumala Thirumeni. So we're going to start our seminar, and the children, like Dutchess said, did a wonderful job in preparing. So please help me welcome Vanessa, who's going to talk about Parumala Thirumeni's early childhood and education.